Okay, so here's another interesting question for you. So we know companies are starting allocating more and more budget for cybersecurity, especially when pandemic started, right? But what I notice is companies provides greater budget on the defensive side. Okay, next generation firewall, IPS, malware protection, WAF, securing SDLC or software development lifecycle, even SOC, which is probably the most expensive budget security operations center. Now, I'm still I'm still curious why companies, or not too many companies, are putting budget on the offensive side, like penetration testing, red teaming, security audit, threat hunting, and many more.
Um, the, that's a very good question, actually. The I think if you look at Europe and US, they are a little bit more mature. The bigger companies have, and compared to if you look at Asia, India, Australia, New Zealand, if you look at their cybersecurity journey literally started 3, 4 years ago. So they're very still early stages of the cybersecurity journey. Whereas if you look at US and Europe, they're very more mature. So for them, they can't go beyond ISO or NIST or some of the other framework requirements. So that's where, for them, testing of the controls or the effectiveness of the control becomes more important. Whereas if you look at Australia and New Zealand, I can easily talk about Australia and New Zealand market. I can still talk about companies. They don't even have backup solutions in place. They don't
Really?
even have they don't even have a proper antivirus solution in place. They are running multiple servers without any protection on them. There is so leave alone the SIEM solution. They don't even have antivirus. We have met, you know, CIOs who are running their infrastructure on ADSL style routers just because they have some capability. They think, oh, that's firewall, that's more than enough. Unfortunately, that's the status of Australian cybersecurity. So when you have that to deal with, to bring that into a good state where you can say you have good small little firewall, you have an endpoint protection, you have good email security system in place, and the most important thing, you have cybersecurity awareness training for your staff, you're doing phishing campaign. That once all of these things are in place, your backup solutions, you have your policy documents defined, then we can start talking about pen testing and things like that. Because we have done pen testing for or red teaming engagement for many, many organizations. And in some organization, it has taken us less than 12 hours to get hold of their Active Directory servers. Within 24 hours, we have access to everything.
Yeah.
We did an engagement for an organization. Literally took us 2 days, and we had the whole database from the Active Directory, every single user. The reason why we are able to do it, because the basic cybersecurity controls are missing. If they had the base control, all the checklists done, then it would be possible to next day. Now let's test the effectiveness of these controls. And I have actually, literally, I had a kickoff call with the customer yesterday. We gave them a pen testing proposal in 2021, in
Okay.
May 2021,
2
and
years ago.
yes, and they've signed the proposal last week. And the reason why, because they were not ready for pen testing, they said, we know where the gaps are. So let's not worry about it. So that's the status of the problem. And that's why companies are not ready to invest into offensive side of it. Now, to your point, absolutely yes. When you have these things or these controls in place, your firewall, your antivirus, your backup solutions, from a NIST perspective, what we call is you can detect, protect, respond, you can recover very quickly. So those 5 domains that have in NIST, once you have the basics covered, then let's do red teaming engagement. Let's see how things are configured. Is it configured properly? Is your laptop protected? you know so yeah, so that's when red teaming and the offensive side of the security becomes far more important. because we do on an average, at any given time, we have a red team engagement going with some customer. And that's why we introduce, for red teaming, you need to have a blue team. You can't do red team without blue team.
Yeah.
It's not possible. So that is why for Australian customers, we actually introduce a new service called the Assume Breach scenario. It's basically, what happens if your employees' credentials are stolen? What happens then? What damage it can do to the business? And that's what we demonstrate to the customers. So we put together a new product in the market. New product is called the Assume Breach scenario. That was the purpose, because majority of the customers are not ready for red teaming yet, especially in the Australian market. Of course, there are financial institutes, the big banks, the government departments, the federal government. If I talk about the councils across Australia, the state is really bad. They will get breached, yes, easily, yes. So yes, the companies should be investing a lot more money, but I think before they do that, there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done.
Right,
Otherwise, the
right.
results will be pretty bad.
But here's my ideology, and I still don't understand this. Companies are spending more budget on the SOC, Security Operations Center, where many engineers or security analysts, as they call it, they just sit there monitoring. So it's very passive. Unlike penetration testing and red teaming, it's an active solution where we literally check all of your vulnerabilities. We'll try to hack your system. And if we found something, we'll report it. And then we provide recommendations and solutions, right? In SOC, big budget. But a lot of people in a SOC team, they're just sleeping there if there are no activities, right?
That's correct. Yep. So look at that. That's why. So when I built my SOC, for 3-column, this is where being a technical person did help. I knew where the gaps are in the market. So when we build our SOC, we build the pen testing capability as part of it.
Oh, it's bundled.
Which means it's bundled together. So we continuously do pen testing for our customers as part of our SOC service. We also do 2 sessions with the executive members, because that's where the biggest problem is. Some of the executives don't understand the importance of cybersecurity. So we do executive advisory and coaching on cybersecurity awareness as well. We do that. We do continuous dark web monitoring for our customers as part of our SOC service. We do continuous threat hunting. So I think majority of the companies, what they do, they put the SIEM solution and they expect the logs to provide the data. Whereas what we do, we have built automated threat hunting capability, because 3-columns is partner with Australian government. So as part of the agreement, we get threat intelligence from the government. We are legally allowed to pass on that threat intelligence to Australian-based customers only. And we do that, and we do threat hunting on an ongoing basis, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to make sure that all the Australian businesses have the right level of protection, and the detection capability and build, into the solution.
All right.
And our SOC includes the ongoing vulnerability management as part of it, and that's how we differentiate our SOC services.
Right, because yours is really different, because other companies, they just provide SOC, like they monitor if there are abnormal activities or malicious network traffic. And I don't think that is effective enough. And what you did is really way better than most companies providing.
Yeah, look, that was the biggest gap, because we've done pen testing for many organizations who have SOC. If we do red teaming engagement, they couldn't even detect things. So that's why I wanted vulnerability management to be effective part of the whole program as a SOC, so that we can continuously remediate the vulnerabilities before a pen testing job is done. Because what pen testers will do, they will go and try to find vulnerabilities. If there are no vulnerabilities, they will not be able to exploit anything. And that's what we are doing on a daily basis for our customers. Regardless, 24/7, we are scanning internal and external infrastructure on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So speaking of customer or company's mindset. I see this a lot on the old school management and board members. There are a lot of companies who doesn't give much concern of cybersecurity, and they still have this mindset. Firewalls and antivirus is enough to protect their company assets. Do you still talk to this kind of people?
I would love to speak to them. Absolutely. Look, that's the foundation of three column. That's exactly why I founded three column, because that was the biggest gap. I think a lot of IT companies have identity crisis at the moment because the way they are looking at it, cybersecurity industry is booming. It's not cybersecurity industry is booming. The cybersecurity was left behind. Nobody thought about cybersecurity. And the IT companies have done a really bad job of building the services because all they have done is we will manage your printers, we will manage your servers, but did they patch the servers on a regular basis? Did they look for misconfiguration? Did they look for unwanted services to be shut down? They never did all the things that should have been done as part of the offering. And
Yeah.
that is why, when I built three columns, we are not an IT company. We don't go and fix laptops. We don't do that. But what we do is look at all those misconfiguration and take the customer on a journey and actually help them identify that a firewall and antivirus solution is not enough. And the good thing is the Australian government has done a really good job in the last couple of years. They have introduced data breach notification law back in 2018, and they've just revised it a couple of months ago. And any Australian business with the turnover over $3 million have to report if they have a data breach, and then private information has been stolen, they have to notify to the government. So the government has done a good job. So given if someone doesn't understand, someone believes that a firewall and antivirus solution is more than enough, I would love to spend some time and educate them that why they should be taking a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy, going forward, because antivirus and firewalls are not going to protect. And COVID has taught us, look at what happened to COVID. Where is the firewall? The firewall's in the data center and the firewall's in the office. We don't have firewall when we are working from home. We are
Right.
connected to your home DSL home Wi-Fi
Network.
connection. Exactly. So, and that is why, during COVID, there was the huge demand for cybersecurity because companies were not prepared. The companies had just firewall in the office, antivirus solution on the Microsoft Defender, or one solution, antivirus solution on the laptop. That's not enough these days. You need a multi-layer approach. You need, defense in depth. That's the approach. We try to educate our customers. Look at multi-layer defense. So yeah. So that's what we do. Yeah, absolutely happy to. If someone believes firewall and antivirus is more than enough for me, I would love to have a 1 hour session with them and educate them like why they should be looking at a comprehensive cybersecurity. Because today it's not enough.
Of course, it's an old school mentality. These are the
That's
people
correct.
who've been told that's how you secure your network, your assets. But that was like 20 years ago or 25 years ago.